Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we have some good news finally for two cruise lines, but we have some pretty big delays and cancellations for some others. First off, let's talk about some of the cruise lines that have some good news. First off, Disney Cruise Line has finally taken possession of the Disney Wish. That's right, it had a couple delays, but it is finally taken possession and looks like its first sailing will finally go ahead. It's a much anticipated ship for Disney Cruise Line. It's the first ship in years and years. It's a larger ship and it looks beautiful with a whole bunch of different new venues on board, different entertainment on board, and if you're a Disney fanatic, it's like Christmas Day. You cannot wait to sail on the Disney Wish, especially if you're a Disney cruise lover. And if you can afford those prices right now, because the inaugural sailings are pretty pricey, but she does look like an absolutely beautiful cruise ship. Speaking of beautiful cruise ships, Ritz-Carlton finally passed its sea trials and looks like its August 6th debut will finally happen. That's right, the Ritz-Carlton brand cruise line, after 6 different delays throughout the years, a full 30 months behind schedule, finally looks like it's going to set sail. This is much along the lines of Oceania, Pondant, cruise lines like that. Those luxury lines, small ship, personal service, all about the destination, all about, the experience on board, not so much about the entertainment. There's not going to be big Broadway shows on the Ritz-Carlton. It's going to be about where you're going and the service you receive on board, including, I imagine, some of the best food at sea. I'm just guessing, but normally these cruise lines are very well known for food, and they make sure, because they're not offering a whole lot of other bells and whistles. So they got to get the food right, and I don't know too many small ship cruise lines that don't get the food right. Well, unfortunately, that's the good news now for those two cruise lines. They look like the ships are going to set sail. They're going to set sail on the days they finally scheduled. But there's other cruise lines that are running into trouble. Speaking of delays, well, Virgin Cruise Line's new Resilient Lady, the third of their 4-ship fleet, yeah, they're going to delay it. Now, we do know remember the Scarlet Lady itself, the original ship, was delayed because, hey, they tried to open and the pandemic hit. So who's good? They couldn't sail anywhere. They couldn't go anywhere. So Virgin Cruise Line has been hit with these troubles since day one of trying to do it. And they have this brand new terminal in Miami. It looks absolutely gorgeous. They got these new ships with new features that some people are interested in, some people aren't. It's just a different way to cruise. And if you're into those types of ships, these ships are for you. But for the Resilient Lady, you're gonna have to wait. In fact, you're gonna have to wait almost another full year for the sailing. It was supposed to come out around third quarter of this year. We're looking at first to second quarter of 2023 now. And they cite abundance of reasons. Everything from supply issues to global uncertainty of cruise destinations and international travel, as well as the crewing situation, including visas and the entry requirements into the United States, etc., etc., etc. We actually know somebody, Jay, from the Ship Life. He signed a contract and he's going to be an entertainer on that ship. He was just told, yeah, they're not sailing, but it looks like they're keeping the entertainment staff and everybody, and they're going to just rehearse until those shows, and maybe send them to some of the other ships as well, according to the cruise line. They say if you are hired and scheduled to go on these ships and you're a crew member, don't worry. There are positions for you. They may be different contracts. They might be slightly shorter as they try and fit a whole bunch of people into 2 ships now instead of 3 ships. So instead of like an 8-month contract, maybe it'll be a 6-month contract until this ship launches, etc. At least it's not like, hey guys, I know you were hired to come on this ship. We decided not to set sail. We'll see you in a year. It looks like they're going to try and take care of their crew members. And that's probably a pretty good decision, because crew staffing right now aboard a lot of cruise lines are the biggest issues cruise lines are facing right now. It's not COVID, it's not international travel, it's not supply issues, it's getting people on the actual ships to service the clients on board. That seems to be one of the #1 issues out there that cruise lines are facing. Now, if you did book one of these ships, you get a couple of offers. You can have a 100% refund with a 25% future cruise credit, or you can opt for the 200% future cruise credit, which would mean if you're in like a regular balcony, you could probably upgrade to a Rockstar suite the next time you book. It's tempting, it's tempting. I did read some articles out there that had some crew members speculating that maybe the cruise line is in financial trouble. I haven't seen any actual evidence of that, but the rumors have started to swell. I think if they were in a lot of financial trouble, you would have seen those crew members probably be laid off, as opposed to keeping them on board and keeping them training for when the ship does open, or maybe moving them to other ships. Because that's a cost that no cruise line wants to incur. Crewing for all these people and no place to put them and no income coming in for the jobs you hired them for. So I think that's a little premature out there. And then we have Norwegian Cruise Line. I just mentioned that we had the Hawaii Pride of America cruise was canceled because they've limited how many people on board, but they did some fairly good. The only thing that I had a little bit of an issue with was the airlines, because they offered up to $500 per person for a refund if you booked airfare. So say $1,000. Well, I checked today to fly from Chicago to Hawaii on Delta Airlines in economy. The cheapest flights I could find was $1,500 a person, so that's $3,000. So in this deal, I would be out $2,000, and that's if I flew economy. And if I flew premium economy, or I flew business or first class, I'm out thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, unless you have cancellation insurance with the airlines as well, or you booked through NCL, the flights, because then you can get your money back at least. It's a whole mess. But they also announced that they canceled another ship. That's right, the Norwegian Escape will now be canceling some of her sailings later on this year while the ship is in Europe, because it needs to go into dry dock. And remember, the Escape is the one that ran aground and was actually pulled for a couple weeks while they inspected the ship. Well, she's sailing now, but she's going into dry dock, and they said, well, while it's in Europe, it doesn't make sense to send it back to the United States and then send it back to Europe for dry dock. They're just going to keep it there, bring it in, and do the work then. And they're canceling some more sailings. Again, it's a very volatile time right now for the cruising industry. There's so many things going on. Airline prices are skyrocketing. People are, restrictions are still in place. Some cruise lines have to institute mask policies again. And now we have repairs, dry docks. They're all trying to get this done at the same time. And it's just going to be, pay very much attention over this rest of the year on your cruise, because things are going to change. I can almost 100% guarantee, whether it's your flights are changing, or your destination's changing, or a hurricane pops up, or the cruise line has to cancel for dry dock, something's going to happen. I can almost guarantee it. Well, I hope you appreciate this update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.